le fu Banjul ibuka jino ebuka la bagaso jin they turn back the katafen dol drop into Senegal Gambia bagaso ka jisena o masi bolet
Dr. Ture contributed immensely to the failure of Adam Barrow regime from 2017 to 2020.
Manke mola foye ko babu ndwok monki it bar ko metela jero yaje ko wala be tamakan NPP kono.
Yes, ngajale because ya kende fangola I was victimized. Who? The party executive. President ya bulobula among intervene because atele sonta yenna the political campaign.
Baro e muno famoni. Ning arta hanarta komen ko abe jaralale. We transport people from Mali, Sierra Leone and other countries. But we are going to do it. Pour kamol transport ni nalana can support for 5 years oni moesia proud.
Bari ita fono la ko ha minister la jodo atale ngadinga minister tal allowance la pa mol membe duma. Minister patata nyaonya mol membe marché oto jendan jaay o famasol do Sénégal membe bolon kono wolle patata minister ti. Poton te balafa no la minister e kapo minister la jodo atale nga balafa want to director la jodo atale nga balafa.
Yaya has the political power. Yaya has the political popularity in the Gambia. Hanipi molbe lafringale anu hanipi ala yamaro na futa molkana.
Let it be put straight that marriage should be between a man and a woman only if they reach the age of 18 and above, or if they reach maturity, because people could be matured before they reach 18.
So every year, the GFF receives $1 million from FIFA, $500,000 in January, and another $500,000 in July.
Greetings and welcome to this exclusive interview. Here with me is Madi Ceesay, Honorable Member, National Assembly Member for Serekunda West Constituency, and I am Serekunda. Greetings, Honorable.
I'm humbled to be part of your platform this evening, and I greet you and your entire staff and also your viewers, wherever they may be.
Thank you very much, Honorable. First of all, I'll just say condolences to the grief family there for the passing of two of their brothers, that is Pate Jallo and Sanjay Gomez, and also extending the sadness to everybody in and outside of the country. And we also saying we totally condemn what had happened, and we also cooperate to make sure it didn't happen again in the country. So, Honorable, last week you've discussed a lot at the National Assembly with regards to consideration stage of the anti-corruption bill. You've also dealt with the judicial officers remuneration bill, and also you've discussed the issue of the FGM also. Well, first of all, what is your view on the judicial officers remuneration bill that was just thrown out by the now?
Thank you very much. As you have enumerated, we have dealt with several businesses in the past week, and yes, the judicial officers remuneration bill was one of them. And unfortunately, the bill could not pass the second stage, because usually when a bill is introduced to the parliament, before it becomes an act, it goes through the first reading and then the second reading. The second reading, that's where the merits are discussed and debated. And then if it has the blessing of the House, it will pass that second reading. Then it will be set for a third reading. But unfortunately, with this particular bill, there were a lot of discussions, and a good number of members have agreed that they wouldn't allow this bill to go. And the reasons were varied. Some are of the opinion that this particular bill is extracted from the draft constitution. So what is the point extracting this particular bill and try to fast track it? Is it that the government is not committed in bringing the draft constitution? That was some people's position. And that included people like myself. There are others who argued on the basis that when the draft came some time ago in the parliament, they rejected the bill, and some of the reasons why they rejected the bill was this particular section of the draft bill. So therefore, if that bill should be extracted from the draft constitution and brought again, then they will still maintain their position. So these are the reasons for the bill not able to get to the next stage. So there was votes were taken, because usually when there are arguments in parliament and we couldn't agree, the speaker would have to put it to a vote so that we continue. And it happened that it was 21 against 18. So 21 are not in agreement, and 18 agreed. So therefore, the bill lost. We couldn't proceed.
Yeah. So what was your own stance there?
My position is, I do not understand why government is extracting this particular bill from the draft constitution, because in the draft constitution, the judicial remunerations are there. And the clauses that were in the current bill that was before us are exactly the same, not in totality, because what we have in the bill was much bulkier than what was in the draft constitution. But the crux of the matter is, it all boiled down to judicial remuneration. So my position is, if government is committed in bringing the draft constitution, let them leave the bill in the draft and let the draft come so that we can have a new constitution.
Yes. So aside from that, what do you say to, let's say, for example, some of the provisions that are there? One example, retired judicial officers being paid the same thing. They were being paid, and then and it continues like that. What is your take on that one?
You know, that one could have been amended, because as it is in the bill, it's like when a high court judge retires at the age of 75, he retires with his full salary. That is,
let's say, if at all he is retiring and he's at that moment he's being paid, let's say, $50,000.
he will continue to
receive the 50,000
and the benefits and allowances. So that was very contentious. But then, if the bill had gone to the next stage where we would look at it clause by clause, that could have been amended. Instead of for him to go with full salary, we could have suggested, no, let him go with quarter salary or half salary. All that could have been amended in. But that is also very contentious, because a lot of people feel that is not fair. And then there is some members of the opinion that also there is a lot of segregation in the bill, because magistrates were not adequately taken care of. So, in other words, it is the opinion of some members that the bill favors the higher echelon of the judiciary than the lower one. So therefore, that segregation also was objected to. But like I said, even if the bill had passed to the third reading, to the Committee of Whole House, then that could have all been amended, because then we would have do what we want to do with the bill by amending some of those things. It doesn't mean that how it came from the ministry, that is how we should, pass it. We could have done a lot of amendments on it to fine-tune it. But the general consensus is the minister should go back and, having listened to all the objections, they should go back and work on the bill and bring it back.
So, what the retired judicial officers would have, do you have any problem with that? The way it came personally,
of course,
yes, from your own point, because you have a lot of complaints, a lot of comments towards even the National Assembly members, especially some of your party members. People are saying that they are trying to even look at this thing like people like Honorable Suleiman Sao was saying, let us not reject this at this moment. Let us try to check it and see it. Then we can come up with we can come up with something tangible. Understand? So for that, some are sending these words like these comments, these critiques to say you've already got your vehicles, and then now you're trying to make sure these people also get this. And then that's why I'm asking you whether you have any problem with them personally having the amount of money they were having when they were serving, and then retiring, going with that amount of money again.
Yes, I have issues with that. But like I said, if the bill had gone to the second level, those issues could have been addressed. Because the way laws are made in the Gambia is it comes to the parliament as a bill, either from a government minister or from a member of parliament. In this case, this is a government bill. They've put all what they wanted to have in that bill. And it doesn't mean that it should not be touched. If we had passed that stage and we go to the committee of whole house, we could have looked at each of those clauses and amend them. That is the position of the likes of Honorable Suleiman Sao to say, let's allow it to go. Then at committee stage, we can look at it. And then if we want, we can say, no, they cannot go with full salary. They can go with quarter salary or half salary. That all can be done at the committee of whole house. That is the position of the likes of Suleiman. But obviously, I have issues with a retired judge going home with his full salary. I have issues with that. I would have thought we could have limited that to half or even quarter. And what the minister told us in that defense is that, well, as we speak now, Gambia has only 27 Gambian judges. So the number is not big. And out of those 27, only 2 are likely to retire. And he said even those 2, they may not benefit from this law because the law cannot be retroactive. So those are all justifications to convince members to allow High Court judges to retire with their salary. But I have issues with that. I think
you did not endorse that. Like
no, I think like we could have. I would of course want them to have a package, but then I would not recommend for them to continue having the full salary after their active service. I would not contribute to that.
Now, what do you say to a comment that you've already have your salaries been increased, you've already have your vehicles and you're enjoying them, and now, I mean, the comments from the other side, I mean, now you are trying to deny others having the same thing, and some are even saying that the National Assembly is having its own act of parliament, understand, and the executive also has its own act of parliament, and now judiciary is the only organ that is left to have it.
No, I really don't think it is like that. But then just to come to to respond to some of those views, that because the National Assembly have their vehicles, you said, and other benefits, so therefore they want to deny it. No, it's not a question of denying. See, in lawmaking, you cannot reject a law totally. You can make law by amending it. This is a proposal coming from government. They said this is what we want. But if you had allowed it to pass that stage, we could have said, no, they cannot go home with this, but we can give them that. So it's not a question of trying to deny them. And the issue of transport, the judges are already enjoying their transport. They are given vehicles. They're enjoying vehicles. Guys, you know what? Do you want to tell me the Chief Justice is not driving a very expensive car? No, he's driving a car that befits his position, because the Chief Justice is like number 2 or number 3 in the country. After the president, you have the vice president, then you have the speaker, and then the chief judge. So he is having a car that befits that position. So he's not using a car that is like any other ordinary car. So even judges, high court judges, are given vehicles and given, furnished houses, are given orderlies. So it's not that they do not have those vehicles.
Including magistrates and caddies?
Not magistrates. I said high court judges.
That's where I am referring to, because when you say,
in fact, that's why we are saying
judicial officers, I think it includes the caddies, the magistrates.
Yes, but
Yes.
the bill,
And those ones did not have vehicles.
the bills, our position is even the bill is segregative because the magistrates are not adequately catered in that bill that we have rejected. They are not there. That is only the position. If you follow the proceeding of the House and the debate, members have pointed that out, that this bill is segregated because the magistrates are part of the judiciary, but they are not allocated in this bill X, Y, and Z. And that was admitted by the minister to say that could have been adjusted. All that could have also been adjusted when we go to committee of whole house. But it's not like the parliament is trying to deny anybody anything. No. If you have a right to certain thing, nobody can deny you from that right.
Yeah, like for example, the point where you said you are not in support of, for example, them having same amount of money after retiring.
Yes.
You understand?
Full salary.
Full salary. Yeah,
to continue with their full salary after actively serving the country. When they retire, I said I don't subscribe to the idea.
Or to cut some of these provisions that are in the bill in terms of what they're supposed to have, some of the benefits they're supposed to have. So that's what I'm referring to exactly, to say you are trying to deny them from having what they're supposed to have after having their own thing.
No, it's not what they're supposed. If they were supposed to have it, they would have it. But why are they before the parliament? It's for scrutiny. When you make a law, you bring it to the parliament, you put what you want in that bill. So that bill should have been discussed thoroughly, scrutinized, and see what is best for the country. It's not like somebody is trying to deny anybody anything. If you said we are denying them what they should have, I would disagree. It's a proposal before the parliament to see, can we have this as a law? And now members are saying, no, we think it is too much for somebody to go on retire with your full salary and other benefits. That's the position of the parliament, but not to deny them. Like I said, parliament is all about number. Majority said no, so therefore it ends there. But then nothing is going to stop the minister to come back with this bill, not during this session, but in another session they can go. Having listened to all the queries we've made, they could adjust and come. If they come, that will be just an easy passage. That's all.
Right. So now we move on to now. What is your take on the vehicle that have been given to the National Assembly members, including you?
What is my
your take?
What kind of
because
take?
Yes,
I'm driving it.
No, what I'm saying.
I'm driving it already. So what kind of take?
No, what I'm saying. People were saying that you are not supposed to have it.
That's their opinion, and I respect their opinion.
That's what I'm saying. Now, to you, are you supposed to have it, or you're not supposed to have it? To you, I know
members of parliament should be mobile, because if you look at the state, there are three arms of the state. You have the executive, you have the judiciary, and you have the parliament. If you go to the judiciary, all the judges are driving expensive cars. You go to the executive, all the ministers are also driving the same, not only one. The parliament, which is the other arm of the state, for the first time in the history of the Gambia, said we should allocate vehicles to them. Why would I say no to that when the other two arms are having it? And these are people who need this vehicle because they need to move up and down to their constituencies and to the parliament. And that is the same, on the same reasons also, ministers are given vehicles to run and be able to effectively function as a minister. So I do not object those vehicles given to the members of parliament. And if you come to the cost, those vehicles are costing $2.5 million. And it is a loan to the members of parliament and not a gift. Members of parliament are paying half of the 2.5 million, which is $1,250,000. That's what the members are going to pay at the end of the 5 years. So the state, one could say, this vehicle cost the state only $1,250,000, because the other $1,250 are going back to government. So here, if you look at it mathematically, government is spending not 2.5 on this vehicle, but they are spending, $1,250,000. So compare that to ministers who are giving the same type of vehicle, 2.5, completely 100% and no deduction. And it's not only one vehicle, 2 vehicles. They are allocated with drivers, maintenance, fuel. Here, the members of parliament are paying half, and they are not. They have to maintain their vehicles on their own. They have to buy fuel on their own. They have to employ drivers on their own. So, which is more expensive? But again, like I said, people are expressing their opinions,
and they're saying,
I respect their opinions.
They're saying now you shouldn't have the gut to criticize the government for spending government public fund like that, something like that, because you already got your vehicle.
Well, you see, we are not bribed to say that because we are giving vehicles, we should not say what is right. This is something that is we are entitled to it. So if you get your entitlement, that should not stop to do your. In fact, that will even keep you more to do your work. So having the vehicle will not stop me talking about government controlling their expenditures. I have said on many platforms that the expenditures, the way government is spending, you look at the rent and you look at travels, are in millions.
Yes, that will take
so
me
that
to this.
Cannot stop me. These vehicles will not stop me saying that. Whoever thinks that I should not say that because I have this vehicle, that's your opinion, and I respect your opinion. But that will not stop me saying it.
Yes. So the last time you were commenting saying the government of the Gambia spent 1 million on travels in 3 years from 2020 to 2022.
Not 1 million, 1 billion.
Yes.
Point of correction. Yes. I didn't say 1 million. I said government spent for the past 3 years, $1 billion and $79 million is on.
But this is a comment that has been copied directly from your Facebook. You've pasted it there. So, but it's okay, and it continues to say over.
So what is pasted there? You say what is?
Yes, this is the
correct thing that I have said. You know, if people can cut and paste and have mistakes, but what I have said and on record, for the past 3 years, government spent $1 billion and $79 million on some hundreds.
Yes.
So it's not.
And I have seen here also over the 20 million is in private pockets as unretired interest, with some holding more than
1 million.
$1 million.
Yes.
So can you elaborate a bit on this?
You know, when we came to Parliament in 2017, we raised questions about governments on civil servants that are given interest and they did not retire their interest. And the figure given at that time was 31 million. So I keep asking that question, and other members keep asking that question. Now, as of end of April this year, still that money reduces. I think by 11 million was paid. Still we had about 10 million was paid. Still there is an outstanding of 21 million that are given to people to do something, and then after you are done, you retire it. It's not retired. So it's still government money. Yes, it's sitting in people's pockets. Yes, that's a fact.
All right. So we now move to the anti-corruption bill. Currently, just like I said, it was before you, just this week. How is it going right now?
Members of Parliament are finished with that bill yesterday. By this time, we are in the Parliament. We have concluded and finished the bill. So the bill is now set for a third reading. And that is just a formality. We have looked at it clause by clause. We have done the needful. And the minister will bring back the clean copy to us in 3 days' time as the third reading. And once that is done, it's the law. Now it will be taken to the president, who will have to assent to it. Once the president signs it, then it will become a law. As far as members of Parliament are concerned, we have finished and concluded work on the anti-corruption bill yesterday. So it is set for a third reading. And that's just a formality of just reading it for this third term.
Yeah, so going through the bill, the content, you think if that is passed, it will prevent a lot of corruptions that are happening, that has been happening? Like, like, can you give some examples there?
A lot, because you know the engine of the act is a commission, anti-corruption commission, because this is the anti-corruption bill, and the bill is now dictating that there should be established an anti-corruption commission. That is the engine of the bill. So once that commission is set up, it will be independent like any other commission, like the National Human Rights Commission. And once they are set up, they will have commissioners, they will have their investigators, and they will have powers to prosecute and investigate. And then people can blow whistle, and the whistleblowers are protected by the law. So that if you see anything wrong going within a particular department, you can just send a message to the commission, and they will investigate. And then if whoever is found wanting will dance to the tune or to the tune. So that is a plus for the government. And I can tell you that definitely, yes, now with this anti-corruption bill, corruption and corrupt practices will be minimized because the commission will be effective.
Yeah, so just not long ago, recently, the Standard made a publication with regards to you and Lamin Ceesay, that is the advisor to the president, Mr. Lamin Ceesay. What is actually the issue? Well, saying
you are a journalist.
Yes, I know. He was commenting that you are sharing something, and then you should be, you know, you as a leader or as a chairman of the Human Rights Committee of the National Assembly, you should not be doing that. And then you responded.
He did not even stop there. He said I should be removed.
You should resign.
He said I should be removed. I think his actual words were I should be removed. But you know, I don't want to waste my energy on people who are clueless and do not understand issues. The Constitution is very clear as to how a sitting member of parliament can be removed. So if a whole presidential advisor do not know that, I don't think I should waste my time responding to that. So I will give you just short responses, and then that will be enough for that. Yes, he has said things that are unfounded and they are baseless. He's just driving a crusade of trying to tarnish my image. And I have said I'm consulting with my lawyers. Somebody's image. If you don't have the facts, you are misleading the entire country. That's why we have the court here to educate between people who are offended.
Well, he is saying you've shared something.
That's what I'm saying.
How do you see that?
That's what I'm saying. I said his statements are baseless because if I have done something wrong in the law will act on me. So all what he's saying in that is just nonsense. Otherwise, you have seen people who have issues with the law, and the law acted on them. So this should tell you that it's just a baseless argument or baseless information that he's spreading. And the answer to that, or the solution to that, is to drag him to court. Let him go and explain himself in the courts. Then the court will educate. We have seen people who are wrong, who have gone wrong against the law. The law immediately acts on them. He has been writing this nonsense on his Facebook for how many weeks? What had happened? I am so responsible to act irresponsibly. So I don't think I will waste much time of my energy on him. Answer is given. I have granted interview to Standard, and I have given my position in the Standard. And that's all.
Yeah, it pains you.
No, it doesn't pain me. I am a public figure. People can criticize if they think I am wrong. But if you want to label something that is not wrong, I will tell you that it is not correct. But that would not. I'm not. That was not going to make me. I'm not like angry or annoyed about it. No, I'm only saying we need to correct things. We cannot allow these kind of things just to go like that. They need to be corrected so that people can follow and do the right thing. That's all. Doesn't pain me. That's his level of understanding. But this is the Barrow government. These are the type of people that advise President Barrow. That's why we are in mess.
Well, but what people are saying is that Barrow is from your party.
Oh yes.
And so any problem,
No doubt about that.
any problem is UDP who brought Barrow.
Well, I really tend to a little bit differ from that. Yes, I agree that he's from the party, he was a member of our party until when he resigned from the party. Now, it reached a point where politically, the way he sees things is different from the way UDP see things. That is not a crime. That's why political parties exist. We have many political parties in the country. They all love this country. They want development of this country. But their perception and the way they see is different from the other party. So Barrow is ours up to the time he resigned. And then in the past few years, he really sees things different from the way UDP see things and create his own party. So I don't think still that blame should follow the UDP now. Now he's NPP. I think people should blame NPP, not UDP. Because if you look at the history of parties in this country, no party falls from the sky. All parties splitted from somewhere, one way or the other. All parties splitted from one place or the other. So it doesn't. Once you are splitted, you have your own party now. Then you must not carry the banner of the other party. Now carry your own one. Now it's NPP. People should not start to blame UDP for Barrow's mess. Now,
and do you think the current government is treating you fairly?
Me as
I'm
a
not
person?
saying you are. I'm referring to your party and you being member of that party and not a small person.
Whether the government is treating UDP fairly, I don't think we have any issues like that because how are they going to treat us? We in fact, if it comes to maturity, we are more mature than the NPP that is in government.
Why?
Because we are here since 1996 and we've been maturely doing our things, respecting the law up till now. So this government cannot treat us otherwise. No. So I don't understand the objective of your question.
How do you see people associating the current incident that happened to UDP? You see those comments throughout.
Well, yes, I think it is just unfortunate. But if something happens, we have a competent department to do the investigations. So before people keep flying their opinions in and around, they should allow our police to do their investigations independently without no influence and come out with concrete evidences and quickly too, because this is a very serious crime. Shooting down 2 policemen. It's a heinous crime. It has never happened in this country. Never. What had happened here in the 70s was a different case. When Danso went and shoot down Mahoney at the Bakau police barrack, then you used to have what they call them field force. That is different from this. These are police on duty. Somebody just come and shoot them down. That matter should be treated with urgency and swiftness. So people should not joke with that. They should allow our investigation team to do their work independently. And I guess they are doing that. Irrespective of people saying their opinions, trying to implicate one party to the other, which are all baseless, I think the police will do a good job and come up with a report. If they have enough evidence against anybody, the charges should be preferred against them and they go to the courts. Then the courts will do the education.
You have any comment on currently as we speak?
On
2 of your party members being called to police for questioning? Modu Sabali and Sonko Bayo?
I have no. For what? Do you know why are they called for that? I don't know. Do you know why are they called? So I cannot comment if I don't know why are they called. If they are called in connection to this or not, we don't know. Unless that is disclosed, I don't have any comment.
Yeah, so just recently the government spokesperson Sankare was at West Coast and then on Coffee Time Show. Did you happen to listen to that interview?
I did not, but I have seen publications. Writing what he said verbatim, but I didn't listen to it. I heard his comments that are associated to him. Yes.
What is your reaction to that?
Well, I think it's unfortunate because, like I said, whether you're a spokesperson or what, you are not a police investigator. This is a very serious crime. We have competent and professionals whose area it is, that is to investigate in such matters, prefer charges against the accused persons, take them before the court. The government spokesperson is not an investigator. I think what he should have done was to relate what the investigators have come up with. If it's given to government as government spokesperson, he can then relate that to the general public. But trying to say his own opinion, as to say that the guy is sponsored assailant or something like that, associating it to party X and Y, I think that is very unfortunate and it's very unprofessional.
Yeah. So just to remind you that you're watching at Gambian Talents TV at this moment. This is your exclusive interview with me, Serekunda, and my guest is Honorable Madi Ceesay, currently here. Yes, we've seen your party making a press release responding to some of the things, or some of the things that were said by Sankare, the government spokesperson. In fact, let me ask you this: do you think it's necessary for President Barrow to have currently have this amount of spokespersons around him?
I think he has only one officially. That is Sankare.
Yes, advisors. Sorry, advisors.
Yeah, he has several advisors.
Yes.
It is not necessary. Simply because the president appoints ministers, and each of the ministers he appoints are expert in their areas. For example, the Minister of Justice is a lawyer by profession. Education is an educationist. Recently, the two ministerial positions, they're experts in their areas. So a lot of those ministers are experts in the area. And being expert or not, the cabinet ministers are the legitimate advisors to the president on the different activities in the country. The agriculture minister should be the advisor on agriculture to the president. Justice should be the legal advisor. Finance should be the economic and legal finance advisor to the president. So those cabinet ministers, 20 of them or more, is enough. Have one or two advisors, then that should be enough. Move on. I don't think it's necessary. But most of these political advisors are based on their political appointments, partisan political appointments. We have seen that. The likes of Lamin K. Sedi is NPP supporter. You go to people like Dusano, you go to people like Banyik, you go to people like Serekunda. They are just political
Du was part of the UDP.
No, we are not talking. Du is no more UDP.
He was part of the UDP.
No, was. But just like Adama, he is no longer with us. So I don't know why you are trying to link these guys to us. They were with us. They are not with us. They have their own party now. So Du was not appointed because he is UDP. Du is appointed because he is NPP. Mamajik is appointed because he is NPP. Serumbal is appointed because he is NPP. Lamin Sedi is appointed as advisor because NPP. All of them. Very few are appointed without any political connotations. So I don't think it is necessary to have all these political advisors when you have your competent cabinet ministers. They should be the ones that should be your experts advising you in the areas. I'm not opposed to advisors, but I'm opposed to the number. It's too much. Maybe a few should be enough. Even if you want to take them from your party, no problem with that. But just a few should be enough.
All right. I think the time is up. So What do you want to elaborate on that probably we didn't discuss? Or your final remark, probably?
Well, I would conclude with the sad incident that happened at the Sucre traffic light. Like I said in my speech in the parliament, I said, it is scaring. It is really very scaring. And then it is it's a threat to our national security, because these are the people who are supposed to provide security for us. Now they are in trouble. Then that's a threat to the national security. So I think the reasons could be related to a lot of things, but I think government need to tighten up the security setup, and then the reforms should be really aggressive, so that we can have an avoidance of this, so that this should not repeat itself anymore. And with this case, government should really take it seriously, do the needful, and prosecute immediately anybody that has a hand in it, so that it can stop and avoid it happening again. It is terrible. It is new in the Gambia, but it's really very devastating. If nothing is not done quickly, this will demoralize our police, because they would know that, our lives are at risk and nothing is done about it. So I think government has to do something quickly. The investigations should really be very fast, although with care, so that they come up with really tangible reasons. Then if anybody is supposed to be charged, let them be charged and taken to court, so the law takes its course.
Thank you very much. Yes, that brings us to the end of the program, and thank you very much for staying tuned, and those watching in and outside of the country. Just to remind you, you are watching at Gambian Talents TV, and I am your host here. My guest tonight was Honorable Madi Ceesay, the Honorable Member for Serekunda West Constituency, representing the United Democratic Party. Thank you very much. Until next time.
And we having businessmen not to complain. Ila kulun kanale fu banjol. Ibuka jino ebuka la bagaso jin. They turn back. They katafen gold drop into Senegal. Gambia bagaso kajisena. Omasi bolet.
Dr. Ture contributed immensely to the failure of Adam Barrow regime from 2017 to 2020.
Manke mola foye ko babu ndok monki it bar community la jero yaje ko wala be tamakan NPP kono.
Yes, ngajale, because yaken defangola. I was victimized. Who? The party executive. President ya bulobula among intervene, because atele sonta yenna the political campaign.
Baro e munafo moni. Ning hanata komen ko abe jaralele. We transport people from Mali, Sierra Leone, and other countries. But we are going to do it. Pour que more transport ni nalana can support for 5 years only more isia proud.
Bari ita fono la ko ha minister la jodo atale ngati nga minister tal allowance la pa mol membe duma minister patata nyaonya mol membe marché auto jendan jayo famasol do Sénégal membe bolon kono wolle patata minister ti fotonte balaba no la minister e kapo minister la jodo atale nga balaba wanto director la jodo atale nga balaba.
Yaya has the political power. Yaya has the political popularity in the Gambia. Hanipi molbe lafringalale anu hanipi ala yamaro na futa molka.
Let it be put straight that marriage should be between a man and a woman only if they reach the age of 18 and above, or if they reach maturity, because people could be matured before they reach 18.
So every year, the GFF receives $1 million from FIFA, $500,000 in January, and another $500,000 in July.
Baba Lima Katele Tulolo in Baba Washington State Ngoluko Ngoluko Washington State Ngoluko Ngoluko Sa apply no kani atare mantara do kola Ibe do kola Fai mantara do kola working family task credit going fele mesilo kan katani ning sane ngamoy sane ya moy fanay wuli ya tani ning sibe sito wuli efisiati ko nibe wasentim bankoka kairo nata e konko baila wasino babule tani ning February 1st la bela tilana mugudo wasentim bankoka na modila siati ganno baninul mankan fali malonko nyurbe ma ko rolela fali malonko nyurbe ma rolela fali malon nyurbe ma ko rolela fali malonko nyurbe ma rolela Washington State yekibaro le natalma ho be jambaro lela Washington State yekibaro le natalma be jambaro lela kodo kuladu na jambaro du malambalu ibato lela kodo kuladu na jambaro du malambalu ibato lela Washington West Africa sentankoli kolaboy ikona a blessing never working families that's craving sanyini ikona a blessing munasim never working families that's craving sanyini manke don toro tiborola so yatanyini Kila no science yena mo kani science miliardo ku 2022 wala baso kala science hani dora kirinde do ku ngoza za daga science manza kundala na mo bunda sartol dundile science ikonga nanga dundi juna pomfana sa soto science uliye katoke kwisa soto jan science local na mo kani bunda wasintim banko na se fo nyurubela sontala science this one is fine nindo ni wondo man killing ko man sakundala federal government nindo na science this one is fine Timandi, niela sarto timandi, timandi, niela sarto timandi, sa soto keno, minka nyanta dola, wuli kilinge me fulola, ba timandi, timandi, niela sarto timandi, timandi, sa soto keno, minka nyanta dola, wuli kilinge me fulola, ba timandi. Makamalem. Kaito tebulu ma apply no wa wango contact baba wa osnyala molu wa wak alikana silla la kuloma be kantamine wa wango Washington State yekibaro le natalma ho be jambaro lela Washington State yekibaro le natalma be jambaro lela kodo kulalu na jambaro du malambalu ibato lela kodo kulalu na jambaro du malambalu ibato lela